Hello, here we are in the Emerson barn of the Lamprey House Museum, which is owned and kind of operated by the Molten Borough Historical Society. I'm going to give you a little quick tour here of the barn and its contents. Uh, Trying out a new piece of software here. We're going to be filming live, and I'm going to be directing the video right from my tablet. So, first off, we're going to be looking at some items here. Uh, these beams and stuff were left over from the redoing of the Hamke room and also the redoing of the barn here. The planks down here at the bottom, they were the original planks that would have been in the hayloft here in the barn, but now we have them stored here because we kind of like the look of the complete open barn here, how it's all kind of open and you can see all the beams. Also, we can see here on the pile, we have a couple of old toys. They were all found here at the museum out back in the woods. And we have a little red fire truck here with a couple of bullet holes in it. It's kind of interesting. Here's a riding toy from, I believe, about the 1930s. Pretty rough shape, but I found similar items like it on the internet. Uh, Also here, we have a little tiny red Matchbox truck, dump truck. It's a Mack, and that was found in the driveway by Bob Dean with his metal detector. And I was able to find out what year it was manufactured due to the fact that this truck was first made in 1965 and is still being made. So how do you narrow it down for age? Well, on the back tire, there's a little tiny piece of red rim left of the hub of the wheel. And according to Matchbox, the first year they made these, they put a red rim on. After that, they decided to go with a black rim, and hence the only year that that was made was 1965, so we know that was a 1965 truck. Love doing the research here. As we kind of turn down this way, we have, it's kind of hard to see here, but right here we have a sleigh, a Travis, that was owned by Bob and Stuart Lamprey. They used to use it here at the museum to ride down the hill past where Molten Borough School is, and once they got down to the bottom, they turn it around and wait for someone with like a Model A, Model T, or a sleigh to come along and pull them back up the hill to the Lamprey house here. Also right here, we happen to have a horse treadmill. Horse treadmills were used on Lake Winnipesaukee before a lot of power boats, and this is a one horse unit. They also had two horse units and probably maybe even a three. And a two horse treadmill could power a barge on the lake that was 70 feet long, loaded with firewood. So that's quite a feat. They used to have a couple of paddle wheels on either side of this, and it would keep the horses going. Now, as we continue the tour here, we have a printing press. This printing press was given to the society by, I believe, Bum Porter, but it was originally Andy House's down here at the house across from the school. And we happen to have a poster here printed by um, Andy, and it's for Earl Fullerton for sheriff. Next to this, we have a gas pump, and I've been trying to figure out where this gas pump could have come from. It's somewhere in town, but unfortunately, every business that's in town that had gas pumps at one time seems to have been a Esso gas tank. One of the features I really like about this one is the fact that along the side here, it has all kinds of writing. And the writing kind of tells who got filled up, how much gas got put into the tanks or whatever. Uh, and of course, we have past this a cider press used for making apples and a couple of muzzles. And one of my kind of favorite little items here is we have a bicycle on the wall, and it happens to have wooden rims for the tires. Uh, it seemed kind of strange that if you had a flat tire, you'd have to go to a carpenter to get it fixed. Uh, as we continue our tour along this direction, we happen to have a nice bandsaw. Uh, it was donated by Northern Woods Tree Service, and I believe it came from Rockport, Maine, and it was made around 1880. It's a beautiful bandsaw. And of course, we have over here, we have the spire that came off of Kona Mansion Barn. There was a huge clock underneath it at one time, and a gentleman had bought the clock and brought it to Portsmouth, and he had dropped the spire off in a field somewhere down near Alton. Someone found it and donated it back to the town. As we continue our tour along, you can't see it right here beside me, but right off here we happen to have a giant ball of string. Now, I'm going to leave that as a mystery. You're going to have to come down and find out kind of what that was and how it got here. Along the wall over here, we happen to have, I don't know if you can see me over here, a couple plows and a dog sled that was from the Seneca Poultry Farm. We have a couple sleighs, and these sleighs were done by Victor Hamke. The finished one you see here is one he completed, and we have another one, a red wooden one here, that is in pretty bad shape, and that's kind of to show what Victor started with and what he ended up with. As we continue around, in front of me here, we happen to have some ice tools for cutting ice from the lake. They were donated by the Davis family, and ice harvesting tools. And we have a nice little chart to tell you what each tool is and what it does. Now, as I come around back to the front here, we have a corn husker. Most farms in the area would have had one. And the barn, now that we've come all the way around, the barn was donated to the Historical Society by the Laconia Savings Bank when they built their new branch across the street. They couldn't use the barn for a vault and lobby, so they gave it to us. A year later, they decided that we weren't putting the barn back up, and they wanted to know why, and we said we needed the money for a slab and the cost of putting it up. So they quickly gave us a check, they put up the barn, and all we had to do is put shingles on it and paint it. So I hope you've enjoyed our little tour of the Emerson barn, and thank you for watching our videos for the Molten Borough Historical Society. Thank you.